Okay, guys, I wanted to quit on this, but by popular demand, we have two more flows that are going to come out of these. This is the throttle body injection 20250. What I did this time, you can see that ramp. Well, that ramp has got a curve in it now. That worked out really well. I took a look at like my 25th cut. This has got a curve. It brings the flow more towards the center, like aimed at the valve guide. How does it do as far as our liquid? It's definitely different. It's more splotchy around the upper cut. It's a little narrower around the seat. It's very straight up through the chamber. It does have a nice powdering by the plug. I don't really see anything on the other side. Our valve actually looks quite narrow. Take a look at the bore. And the bore is a little bit... It's wider on the right side as far as the light part, but it has some speckles going out, and it's got a decent-sized drip. I don't see as nice a curve on the left. So I'm going to say take a step back as far as our liquid. All right, guys, I'm working on my lighting. Let me know if it's getting any better or if I'm really messing it up. As far as this angle, it doesn't have that belly anymore. It's a straighter shot up. It's got a nice angle on it. I don't know if you guys will be able to see the change in the ramp. You really can't from this angle. But it was a decent sized cut. You had to take some metal out in order to do that. And then, of course, I had to widen the short side a touch to make it straight. Okay, a little tough to light this the way I want to light it, but hopefully you can see that curve. Looks like I probably could have worked on that a little bit more, but it definitely has a curve coming out. Okay, we got the light right on it. I don't know if we can show this, but sorry guys, I'm having trouble focusing on what I want to focus on. You know, it's actually funny. I literally forgot to repolish that short side on that side, but it should be pretty close to what we want. Okay, I can't remember who exactly said it, but they were saying that the flow was coming out of the bowl, banging into this and causing a problem. So if we aim this straighter this way, then the collision changes, and maybe they'll rotate and then out with less turbulence, i.e. more flow. Worth a shot, right? Why not? Well, let's take a look at our flows and see if it was a winner, because we haven't had a winner in, I don't know, 5 or 6 cuts. It's been bad. Let's take a look at this. Okay, 17 is on the left, curved ramp to valve stem. Okay, 16 is what we did last time. I did a bunch of work to the short side radius, which should have helped, and it was a loser. So, what happened this time? Plus, 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 plus equals minus, 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 plus, plus, plus. It's a winner, but not a perfect winner. It's a little bit lower in the mid-range than I'd like. But she tops out pretty darn good. I mean, that's a big step up in the higher lifts. Not that we're going to go that high. Remember, it's only a 202. But the rest of this curve is fairly good. Now, let's take a look and see what happened with our speed. Oh, let's take a look at our swirl. Because it's coming at a different angle, it's going to change the way the swirl works. Plus, plus, minus, 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 minus. It knocked the swirl back considerably from where it was. That's almost 800 RPM. Okay, 1494. It's actually a touch low. All right, 1730 is good. 1490 is a little low. But we can still use this curve. I wouldn't see, we got some high spots in here. We got like 16, 1700 right in this area. It's interesting, right? We have the higher swirls, lower flows at this point. So there's an interaction going on inside the, sorry guys, inside that bowl. Okay, as far as I'm concerned, it's pretty interesting. On top is our 16th cut. On the bottom is our 17th cut. They're both at 1/2 inch. They're both flowing almost identical, 251 and change. Take a look at what happened. How do you lose all across your pinch? Pinch wasn't really touched, so that's kind of interesting, right? Take a look at this. Both of the roof picked up. Not a huge amount, but a decent pickup. And we lost a little bit on our ramp. We went from 277 to 271. Somebody asked if I could show how to do that. Now, it's not correct, but it does give me a reference number. So I will state that. In order for a pitot to work correctly, let's get it out. Okay, it's a little difficult to see, but the way the pitot is designed is it's got little tiny holes here, and it has a hole at the end. So what it's doing is that they're going through two different tubes, and the air goes into this hole, right? And then it makes a differential. So in order to do this correctly, you want the air to go into that hole straight as far as possible. Now, when I'm doing the ramp, can't do that because the ramp comes up at such a steep angle. Okay, that's about the best I can do. Now, if you take a look at the angle of the ramp, right, it's not going directly into the hole. It's going across the hole. So is it totally accurate? Well, it'll be accurate if I do each one of them the same. Right? And it's very difficult to do because you got to get it like right on that edge in order to get a decent number on it. But I wanted to get an idea of how much air is coming across that ramp. And it does give me an idea. So I think it's, even though it's not, textbook how to do it, at least it gives us a reference number. And when we change the ramp, it'll change that number. And then we'll know whether there's more air going up that ramp or less. Now remember, I gave it more area and I changed that curve. So less air I would think would go up that ramp. And we did lose a few feet per second. Take a look at our short side. Minus, minus, minus. The work we did on the short side really started to make a big change this time. Last time it was a loser. Interesting stuff, right guys? Alrighty. Somebody was asking for clay on the short side. Well, the way I have that short side working right now, notice 277, 282. Very balanced across that short side. That short side's working really well right now the way it is. By adding clay to that short side, I do not think we're going to get a better curve. I will do it just because I don't, have anything better to do for the next hour when I put some clay on it and put it all back together and flow it. Only because you asked, guys, because I love you so much. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.